Yes, sir. Go on, sir.
Shall we start?
Yes, sir. We'll start it, sir.
Okay.
So, sir, I'll just give a small introduction, sir.
Oh, okay. Right.
So, good evening, dear students. We are today very fortunate enough to have Dr. Tampan as our resource person today. Sir, saying a few words about sir. He is now principal scientist as well as the acting head of Division of Social Science at ICR CPCRI Kasaragod. And sir, he has his doctorate in agriculture extension, and he had a lot of achievements to his credit. If I name a few, it will be like the effectiveness of he was involved in improving the effectiveness of farmers' participatory approach in the performance assistance of various technology related to improving varieties, cropping of farming systems, nutrient management, etc. It was related to the village linked program, and it was implemented in 770 contiguous farm holding located in 3 selected villages. And sir was also actively involved in the multi-dimensional analysis, which was carried out to study the extent of crop intensification in coconut-based farming system. And also under his leadership, a study was conducted on field performance of micro-irrigation systems installed in farmers' field to delineate the factors contributing to the adoptions of micro-irrigation system and to evaluate the technical performance of the micro-irrigation system installed in farmers' field, and again to document the re-inventory by farmers in micro-irrigation systems. And sir, he was principal investigator of the Farmers Participatory Action Research Program on soil water conservation, water harvesting in West Coast region of Kerala. And also he was handling a large number of projects related to this. And sir also had a large number of publications to his credit, that too in very reputed high impact factor journals. So we are very fortunate enough to have him to be a resource person in this session. Sir, I welcome you to the presentation, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Nima, for your nice introduction, energy giving introduction. Thank you, Nima. Anyway, I cannot see anyone participants. I think all video. It's okay. How many are there? I think some 4 or 5 only, whatever it is.
Seven is there, sir. The rest of the people, they will join, sir.
They will be joining. Okay.
Probably. Our time is from 5:30 to 6:30, sir. Now they will be having classes also. So that is why this much of, but it is live streamed in YouTube, sir. So all misses this, they will be able to catch up back later, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Anyway, in the course of presentation, probably I will interact with them also instead of one-way communication. Thank you, Dr. Nima. Good evening, all friends. We'll discuss for maybe 1 hour or so on extension system and current practices in plantation crops. Probably we will start with the issue whether this extension is that much relevant to be discussed. Now, basically, we are talking about extension systems with reference to, say, agri or horticulture or fisheries or animal husbandry. In all these spheres of activities of farming, actually, the extension aims to make conscious use of communication of information to help people to form sound opinions and make good decisions. So extension is relevant as long as people are there who are unable to make good decisions, form sound opinions. So as long as people are there who are deficient in their capabilities to help themselves, extension is very, very relevant. See, our agriculture scenario is changing. It is undergoing vast changes, and there are a lot of challenges also. See, basically, we are talking about the shrinking resource base, the soil, water, the agrobiodiversity. All these basic natural resources are getting degraded. So that's a challenge to make agriculture sustainable. And again, as we are all aware, agriculture holdings, the size of holdings, it is getting reduced every year. The fragmentation of holdings is a challenge because it is a great challenge to make agriculture or farming a viable option in the fragmented holdings. And of course, we know the problems due to the climate change. And we are experiencing all sorts of natural calamities. Say in states like Kerala, the last 2-3 years, it is a problem, not only in Kerala, almost every place, all over the globe. And again, farmers are facing a lot of challenges because of the price crash for their commodities, price fluctuation, violent price fluctuation in the market. And again, a lot of changes are happening with respect to the demand for the agriculture produce, demand for the food items. And again, the consumption pattern also are getting changed. It's a challenge for making agriculture sustainable to produce and make available the items which are in demand. And again, the changing farming systems are changing. And again, if you look at the efforts made to keep the public sector investments at a higher rate to make agriculture sustainable, to support the farming community as well as other stakeholders. If you observe closely, we can see that there is a decline in the public investments in agriculture. Maybe you might have read today's newspapers highlighting the budget, and you can see how much agriculture is allocated. And again, the international development, we know that we are in the trade liberalization era. We are signatory to the World Trade Organization, and all the norms, everything fixed for this, WTO and all. It's a challenge for the agriculture to remain sustainable. Farmers all over the world, for them it is a challenge to remain competitive in the era of trade liberalization when compared to the protection they obtained in the previous era. And again, we are all now living under this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic situation. It is, we are all actually suffering due to this. Instead of this offline class, we are doing everything online. And I hope sincerely that you are all staying healthy and remaining safe. And agriculture is an important area which will be facing the adverse impact of this pandemic situation. It is all said that the food production will be adversely affected because of the pandemic situation due to various factors. And again, in this changing scenario of agriculture, the agricultural extension support needed for farmers, it also varies. No, it's basically the extension system, extension support will have to provide what are the technological options that could be used, keeping in view the potential resource constraints in terms of land, the capital, labor, and knowledge. We have seen that it's a major challenge that basic natural resources on which agriculture depends, and it is getting degraded. So in this situation, what are the technological options which will keep our agricultural practices viable? And again, what are the technological options available and how to manage various technology options? And again, because of the changing demand and consumption pattern, how to change the farming system, how to change the cropping pattern to suit the requirement. And again, for which kind of a product, there is a good demand in the market. So actually, earlier times, always the extension support was mainly provided to the farming community to enhance production and productivity. Now, it is not stopping there. We have to think about how value addition can be obtained and how value-added products can be marketed, and this kind of market-led extension efforts are required. That's a change in need. And again, what are the quality specifications for achieving good value addition for a product? And it is very, now people are all quality conscious, and there are stipulated norms to keep the quality of the product. So that's kind of support also we may have to provide. And what about the availability?
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. Sir, I think the slide is not changing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It is still at the first slide, sir.
Is it? No, I'll slides. A slide is moving. Now is it moving?
No, sir. First slide only, sir.
No,
First slide
no.
only. Some
Sir,
problem.
Sir, first go slide mode, then try to share.
Slide mode. First to go to slide mode and then to.
Yes.
Stop sharing.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now it's okay.
Right. Now it is changing.
Yes, sir. It is
Yeah.
changing.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I think I need not repeat what all I said. Now the thing is that in the changing scenario of agriculture, the extension system, whoever is representing the system should necessarily have the competencies, including the knowledge on agriculture technology, and the extension specialist will have to provide the details, information about the market trend, the price, demand, the policy, infrastructure facilities available. And again, the extension personnel should also have the the knowledge on farmers' experience, the indigenous knowledge possessed by the farmers, and the way to integrate the farmers' knowledge, farmers' experiences into the recommended practices. And again, it is not only with respect to the opportunities for income generation in agriculture sector, off-farm income sources also are available for the people, and extension should provide the knowledge on those opportunities outside agriculture. And definitely it is the era of information technology. Naturally, extension people should be able to make use of the information technology, and they should possess knowledge about that, how to make use of information communication technology for extension. And again, they should be competent enough to obtain and evaluate information on technologies, market, infrastructure, and policies of government with respect to various aspects of farm. And again, communication with farmers as an interpersonal communication, then counseling, then group management, then mass media, and information technology use. And again, we know that we have seen that it is all fragmented holdings, and it is very essential that small and marginal farmers are organized for collective decision making. We know that group approach at farming. So extension specialists should be able to organize the farmers for collective decision making, and they should possess the capacity to analyze threats and opportunities for farmers, and help them to make the kind of analysis by themselves. And again, information on technologies, prices, and market and policies, and again that organizing farmers, as I just now told, and problem solving consultancy also the specialists may be able to provide to the farmers. So these are the competencies required, and we have seen the relevance of extension. We have seen the changing scenario of agriculture and challenges, and we have seen in general, what is expected from extension specialists in the changing scenario, and what are the roles they have to play, what are the competencies they should possess to be effective in the profession. Now, see, our topic is extension system and the current practices in plantation crops. Probably in the previous classes, you might have been exposed to the plantation sector, the unique features of plantation sectors. As we all know, these plantation crops play a very vital role in the agrarian economy of various states, especially states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, again Karnataka, Andhra, some of the northeastern states. So among the plantation crops, the coconut, arecanut, black pepper, cashew, cardamom are smallholder plantation crops. Tea, coffee, and rubber they are designated as estate crops, and more than 3.7 million hectares put together. These crops, 30 million smallholders are depending on it, and it contributes substantially to the GDP and provide employment opportunities to large number of people, especially women. And again, if you see the plantation sector innovation system, it is not that research and extension, it includes the support system including the input supply, then market, and above the credit support, and again extension system and research knowledge generation system, and above all definitely the policy environment, congenial policy environment, what is existing. So all these put together, interconnected systems constitute the plantation sector innovation system. In the research domain, we can see ICR, Central Plantation Crops Research Institute, then state agriculture universities in the states where these plantation crops are cultivated, and again state horticulture universities. They represent the major players in the research domain in the public sector. And knowledge intermediary like Krishi Vigyan Kendras play a great role in the extension system of plantation crops. And again, all these research institutes as well as agri and horti institutes, we are having frontline extension programs conducted besides carrying out the research. And the mainstream extension system is represented by basically the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, the Union government, and state agriculture and horticulture departments. They are having a lot of extension and developmental interventions to cater to the requirements of plantation sector. We know nationwide, our extension system, we are having ATMA, Agriculture Technology Management Agency, in every district, single window system of extension, interventions carried out. Not only agri, it is agriculture, horticulture, fisheries, animal husbandry, veterinary sciences, and all, including forest. So every district we are having that system, which is the national, extension system. And there are commodity boards for the plantation crops, like the coconut development board, spices board, rubber board, like that. So these commodity boards catering to the requirements of plantation sector, they also have got various extension interventions apart from implementing the developmental schemes. And again, the extension system, we can see large number of farmer producer organizations now functioning in crops like coconut. Actually, it all started with rubber, then even in spices there are. And major plantation crops, we are having farmer producer organizations functioning in various parts of the country. And again, these farmer producer organizations also can be used effectively as a platform for organizing extension to support the plantation sector, farming community and other stakeholders. And again, local self-governments also play a role in carrying out extension function to support the plantation sector. We know the decentralized planning exercise, People's Plan campaign going on in Kerala, and the LSGs in other states also, not only in Kerala. They are all decentralized planning and developmental initiatives are there in all the states. So those LSGs, local self-governments, are also important stakeholder in the extension system. NGOs are there, private sector agencies are there catering to the extension requirement. So we can see that there are various agencies in the research, in the development as well as extension in plantation sector. For the effective functioning of all these, what is required is the convergence between all these agencies in the domain of knowledge generation as well as knowledge transfer and utilization. And this is about the systems. Right now, if you see the yield gap in plantation crops, it is very, it's a very wide gap exists between the potential yield and the average yield realized, and see the yield gap. This is the case in Kerala state. See, coconut, rubber, pepper, coffee, tea are listed. You see, in pepper, the yield gap is more than 400%. And of course, it is only in rubber only comparatively the average yield is somewhere nearer to the potential yield. In all the other plantation crops, there is a huge gap in the what is the average productivity realized in farmers' garden. There are various reasons for this what is the yield gap in plantation crops. See, you see the extent of utilization of technologies. We have seen the various organizations which are involved in generating technologies. There are a substantial number of technologies. Say it can be the let's say improved varieties, including hybrids. It can be the agronomic practices, technologies for nutrient management, irrigation and water management, technologies for intensification, the multiple cropping and integrated farming systems, technologies for integrated management of pests and diseases, and again technologies for value addition through product diversification. So substantial number of technologies are generated in plantation sector through the efforts of all these research organizations, including ICAR, SAUs. But see the extent of utilization of technologies, extent of adoption. For majority of the technologies, it is see only 25% and that less. Only in certain items. This is but with reference to the coconut. Basin opening, mother palm selection, planting, and some local varieties. The adoption is slightly on the high side. If you see the adoption of hybrids, adoption of nutrient management, and again multiple cropping and integrated farming, it is very less. So again, there are various factors. What is responsible for this kind of low level of adoption of technologies? And this is definitely this is one of the reasons for the low level of productivity. And again, there are various constraints in especially in plantation sector experienced by the farmers, which actually it is having adverse impact on technology utilization. See the price crash and price fluctuation in the market, especially during this trade liberalized era. It's a major factor which actually it's a bottleneck. It's a major constraint experienced by the farmers for making use of making effective use of technology, so that the productivity and income, higher productivity and higher income is realized from plantation crops. And again, say there is an increasing level of concern for food safety and environmental correctness among the consumers. And you know that there are safety norms, food safety standards are fixed. And we say these are the majority of the plantation crops that we are exporting. In the exported material, if there is a substandard item, the whole consignment will be rejected. So it's a challenge, it's a constraint actually. So that is another constraint. And again, we have seen the fragmented holdings and the deterioration of the basic natural resources of soil, water in the cultivated land. And again, another major constraint is the low level of awareness, low level of knowledge of the farmers about the technologies. And again, see, we all know that if there is active involvement and participation of the farmers in the technology development process, in the implementation of extension, interventions, naturally the effectiveness will be much more, and the technology utilization will be much more. But if you look at the situation, current scenario, the extent of farmers' participation in the research and extension is quite low. And of course, all these things influence the level of technology utilization. And we all have seen that the level of technology utilization is not at all satisfactory in plantation sector, not only in plantation sector, in other sector as well. This is the problem. And again, taking into cognizance all these factors, probably we have to have extension strategies appropriately formulated and to be deployed to overcome these constraints and to facilitate and to support the growers for sustainable and remunerative farming. And of course, since its inception in 1916 onwards, our institute is having a lot of farmer-oriented programs to transfer the technologies, institutional and off-campus training programs we are organizing, demonstrations we are conducting, exposure visit of various clientele groups, diagnostic field visits, design mela, exhibition, mass media utilization, all those conventional technology transfer programs we are organizing, agriculture technology information center, ethic, we are having Krishi Vijnana Kendras are there under the institute. Similarly, all the other research and research organizations, including that agriculture universities, horticulture universities, are also having various frontline extension programs conducted. And regarding the training programs, we know training programs basically give focus on the skill component, to transfer the to empower the farming community and other stakeholders who are all concerned to acquire skill for better technology utilization. And we are catering to the training requirements of farmers, extension personnel, rural women, youth, FPOs, and everything. And various thematic areas, agrotechnics, cropping and farming systems, IPM, IDM, value addition. All these things, not only in coconut, all the other organizations involved in other plantation crops, spices, rubber, or other plantation crops. These kind of training programs are organized by various agencies. And we know that the training programs to be effective should result in a substantial gain in knowledge and skill, and which will lead to enhanced and better adoption of recommended practices for increasing the productivity as well as income from the cultivation. And again, another important training program, a very innovative capacity building initiative for rural youth is Friends of Coconut Trees. Probably you might have heard about this program, FOCT, referred to this particular program. This is being implemented by the Commodity Board, Coconut Development Board. We have seen that in plantation sector and in agriculture in general, lack of availability of skilled labor and high wage rate is a major constraint experienced by the farming community. And in coconut, this is very, very, pertinent problem. The climbing, tree climbing, there's the skilled workers, climbers, farm climbers are required for harvesting as well as for taking up, plant protection measures and all those things. But see, the availability of skilled labor, farm climbers, it's a problem now. And the number of traditional skilled farm climbers who are in the field, their availability is steadily declining. So CDB introduced a program called Friends of Coconut Trees to promote the rural youth to take up the coconut climbing using the mechanical climbing device, and also they are given free training not only for using farm climbing device, but also for scientific management of the coconut garden, all the other agronomic practices, even practices like our hybridization technique to produce hybrid coconut seedlings. So this kind of skill, components the rural youth are exposed to, and it's a very innovative capacity building initiative. And in different stages, these programs are conducted, and thousands of rural youth are trained. So this is a very unique training program as an extension interventions to support the farming community in coconut sector, which is a major plantation crops. And then say promoting group approach among the rural youth trained under this program is an important strategy for effective utilization of the manpower. And again, facilitating the coconut farmer and the trained youth interface and participation of the trained youth in the implementation of coconut development schemes implemented by state sector or LSG agencies. And again, need-based training programs are to be conducted to benefit the trained youth. And apart from training, demonstration is an important extension intervention, conventional practice. We all know that probably in your extension, courses you might have been, taught about different types of demonstration. Method demonstration, result demonstration, etc. Basically, through demonstration, we are trying to convince the farmers about the technical feasibility as well as the economic viability of the technologies recommended, so that they are convinced and thereby they take up or adopt the technologies. Multiple cropping and integrated farming, soil test-based nutrient management, and soil and water conservation and water harvesting, integrated pest and disease management, and value addition through product diversification. All these subject matter areas we can conduct demonstration, and we have been conducting. Not only in coconut, in various other plantation crops as well. And again, integrated management of coconut root wilt, which is a problem, the major problem in coconut farming, especially in the southern districts of Kerala, right from Trichy to Trivandrum. So we have been conducting frontline demonstration on the integrated management of this disease affected gardens by our regional station Kayankulam. And again, we recommend coconut based cropping and farming system as a strategy to increase income and employment opportunities. So that frontline demonstration of these cropping system models in farmers' field. And again, soil and water conservation and water harvesting. Under various projects, we have demonstrated in farmers' field, and we were able to improve the yield by 19% through these interventions under the project supported by the Ministry of Water Resources. We have implemented this project, and there is through the frontline demonstration, we were able to convince the farmers that bud rot disease of coconut can be managed effectively through the integrated disease management practices. In the demonstration, we could obtain 75% reduction in bud rot incidence. And again, there are various other integrated pest management technologies demonstrated. And again, demonstration to be effective, we have to plan it properly, especially planning and implementation of interventions for pre-demonstration phase, including selection of farmers, arranging inputs, delineating the specific technologies to be demonstrated. And again, during the actual demonstration phase, we have to arrange the visitors, other farmers, and facilitate interaction and experience sharing. And again, we have to, while conducting the demonstration, we have to make provision for recording the observations on the input-output details and comparative advantages of technologies demonstrated. And so that we record actual data to convince the farmers this is the impact because of the particular technology adoption. And again, the successful experiences of the demonstrated technologies should be scaled up by arranging further extension activities through other programs, so that the impact will be scaled up. And again, apart from these conventional extension approaches, taking into account the unique features of the plantation sector, we have to go for other innovative extension approaches for technologies transfer in plantation crop sector, especially ensuring active participation of farmers and stakeholders. And again, social mobilization, focusing on social mobilization. And again, facilitating the formation and functioning of farmer organization at grassroots level to enhance income. And again, community-based extension mechanism, especially for pest and disease management in crops like coconut, it is very important. And as we have seen the perennial nature of the crops, plantation crops, which are having a long gestation period, the extension, strategies and methods also should be adjusted accordingly. And again, the small and marginal holdings, we have to, we have to formulate extension initiatives, extension intervention in such a way that they are benefited. How to have, extension programs tailored to meet the demand of small and marginal holdings. And again, in states like Kerala, absentee landlordism is a major problem. Who are actually having the land with crops, plantation crop like coconut, but they are not actually depending on this coconut farming or cultivation of other crops as the major source of income. They are having other source of income, and they are this absentee landlordism. Their involvement in farming is much less. The adoption of the crop management practices, it is not satisfactory, which result in lower level of productivity and again low level of income. That's the problem. So how to address this issue? What are the extension initiatives which should be focused to address the situation where absentee landlords are many? And again, lack of skilled labor for farm climbing and high wages is a problem. What should be the strategy to overcome this problem? And again, there are various other aspects which what really compel us to go for extension approaches which are addressing these challenges. And we have seen that fragmented holdings is a constraint in effective utilization of technologies. So we recommend organizing the smaller marginal farmers at the grassroots level so that the resources can be managed on a group basis, which will help them to overcome the inherent weaknesses of the resource poor situation of fragmented holdings. And we see our institute has implemented some certain pilot research projects, international projects, as well as projects supported by the national agencies, which clearly have demonstrated the utility of group approach in farming. The inherent weakness due to the poor resource situation of marginal small farmers, that can be overcome if they are organized. And they see, taking into account the necessity of organizing the farmers at grassroots level. Now the government, the central government as well as the state governments, and they are giving a lot of emphasis for promoting group approach among farmers, and the FPOs, farmer producer organizations. Actually, FPOs, it is taking into account the principles of cooperatives as well as the functioning the style of some of the private enterprises. So we need the efficiency of the private sector as well as the flexibility and pro-poor approach of the cooperative sector. So FPOs are actually facilitated widely, and these are some of our experiences in coconut, where we have facilitated formation of farmer organizations in coconut sector in selected localities, and the impact is that net income from the coconut farming could be increased through the technology interventions and micro enterprises introduced in the community. And another thing is that these resource poor farmers cannot have the enterprises on their own as individual farmers for taking up interventions related to value addition and processing and marketing and all those things. So once they are organized into farmer collectives, they get the group approach will help them to pool the resources and enter into these kind of enterprises where processing and marketing activities are taken. And this is one intervention. Again, in the root built areas, we have implemented this cluster approach. And again, with the IFAD international funding, we have implemented another program. And again, the ICAR, National Agricultural Innovation Project, under NAIP, a project on value chain in coconut was implemented by our institute. developing a value chain in coconut from production to consumption through technology development, technology integration, and stakeholder participation. That was the objective. See, 10 farmer organizations were formed in different 10 locations, comprising of 25 hectares each in each location. A total of 534 farmers were involved. Basically, the productivity of the coconut could be enhanced from 62 to 112, and we have facilitated under the project the formation of the women self-help group to take up micro enterprises on production and marketing of value-added products like coconut chips. And again, they approach seeing the success of the group approach under this NAI project. See, the efforts are scaled up by other agencies. And again, availability of quality planting material in plantation sector, not only in coconut, in other plantation crops also is a problem. So to the public sector organizations, say for example, agriculture department or horticulture department or research institutes like ICR, CPCRI or agricultural universities, the public sector infrastructure is not sufficient to produce, not actually having the facility to produce the quality planting material in sufficient number to meet the demand from farmers. So here we are facilitating the farmer organizations to enter into the production and marketing of quality planting material. Again, it's a group approach. Say in a project on farmer participatory decentralized approach for production of quality planting material. The project was funded by State Department of Agriculture. We have empowered coconut farmer organizations in different locations, spread over more than some 10 districts in Kerala state. And we have facilitated formation of nearly more than 32 decentralized community nurseries. See, they were trained, given training on, say, mother palm selection, then again, how to produce this quality seedlings, what are the scientific nursery practices, how to select good quality seedling, all those things, nursery management aspects, they were all trained. And we have given them all the support to manage the decentralized nursery. Many of the nurseries are being continued even after our project is over. Actually, some of the nurseries are functioning very well. This is also an example where the group approach is very, very relevant as an extension strategy. And again, as I have told, pest and disease management, individual farmers, if they try to adopt the integrated management practices to manage the pest and diseases, probably it may not be effective. Community action is required. Collective action on a contiguous area basis, compact area basis, that is required. So naturally, community-based extension mechanism for pest and disease management of crops like coconut, it is very important. And we have got a lot of examples where we have very effectively facilitated community action through this particular approach, especially in the root wilt affected area. And again, area-wide community extension approach for biomanagement of rhinoceros beetle, it is a successful experience of our institute, where this community approach, extension approach, is found to be very effective in managing the pest problem, especially rhinoceros beetle. And again, bud rot disease of coconut is a major constraint experienced by the major problem experienced by the coconut growers in the northern parts of Kerala. Here also we have facilitated the community approach among the coconut growers for the management of bud rot disease. Various interventions were implemented, and this is the impact. See, there is a reduction of the disease incidence, and seeing this particular, the success of this particular initiative, Coconut Development Board came into the picture, and they supported the Department of Agriculture to scale up the this particular intervention, integrated disease management through community approach. And we have seen the importance of community approach, importance of group approach, uh, especially organizing the smaller marginal farmers into collectives so that the inherent limitations, problems due to the resource limitations, resource constraints can be solved. And we have to facilitate farmer producer organization. And Coconut Development Board, the important commodity development board to support the coconut industry. It has implemented a program to facilitate formation of FPOs in coconut sector. See, it is a three-tier structure of FPOs in coconut sector. The primary tier, it is Coconut Producer Society. It is formed by associating, say, 40 to 100 coconut growers in a locality of a contiguous area, say covering around 4,000 to 6,000 farms. And they are formed into a society which is registered under Charitable Society Act. And again, at the second tier, the second level, say 8 to 10 coconut producer societies are federated to form a coconut producer federation. Say approximately around 10 lakh coconut palms will be covered in the contiguous area. And again, the third tier, we have the coconut producers company. 8 to 10 coconut producer federations will join together to form that particular company. Say more than 10 lakh coconut palms will be covered. All these three-tier FPOs in coconut sector basically aim to increase the income of coconut growers through collective action. Various interventions are implemented at different levels. Maybe the production and marketing of value-added product which require more investment and all, coconut producer company will take care. Other activities which are taken up at the grassroots level, it is by the coconut producer societies, and then with the layer we are having coconut producer federation. Actually, and this is the status. As of now, we are having more than 9,785 producer societies registered in 9 states. And again, more than 700 federations and around 67 producer companies. This is the status of FPOs in coconut sector, which is facilitated by Coconut Development Board. And again, as we have seen in the budget, there are a lot of support for the farmer organization to take up various enterprises for increasing income as well as employment opportunities in rural sector. Various agencies such as NABARD and other public sector organizations are giving a lot of support. Not only NABARD and commodity boards, even the state government organizations like Department of Agriculture or Department of Horticulture and again other commodity boards, they are also supporting farmer producer organizations. And in Aracanut and cocoa sector, probably the success story of CAMCO, the Central Aracanut and Cocoa Marketing and Processing Cooperative Limited, CAMCO, probably you are aware about this organization. It's a success story of group approach. When there was a price crash in Aracanut, people organized themselves into a very big cooperative. It's actually multi-state initiative, a joint venture of Karnataka and Kerala state. It started in 1973. Continues functioning very effectively, supporting the Araca and cocoa growers. Definitely a success story of an extension of developmental intervention to support the growers. And again, farmer field schools, it is a school without wall, people-centered learning, and an alternative to the conventional top-down extension approach. Probably instead of just passive listeners to a lecture, as a passive participant in a demonstration program or conventional extension initiative. Here in farmer field school approach, it is an innovative approach to adult education. Actually, farmers learn about the crop production problems and they learn about the ways to address them through observations, discussion, and learning by doing field exercises. It is not the traditional training or demonstration. It is a school wherein they learn about their own problems They learn about the technologies. They learn how to make observations and record the data, and how the technologies can be effectively integrated. Actually, this is the innovative extension approach of adult education. It was developed in Southeast Asia, actually in Indonesia, for pest management and rice. It was found to be a very effective extension approach. Farmer field schools, FFS. FFS can be very well employed as an extension strategy to support farmers cultivating crops like coconut, coconut and other plantation crops. With the topics such as integrated pest and disease management, in situ production of green manure and organic manure, integrated nutrient management practices and use of micronutrients, intercropping, then soil and water conservation measures, quality seedling production for coconut nurseries, post-harvest processing in coconut. All these thematic areas can be considered for formulating extension intervention through farmer field school approach. And again, use of ICT, you know, it is an era of ICT, and say we are having diverse set of technological tools and resources to communicate, to create the content, to disseminate the extension information, to store the information and manage the information. And there are a lot of examples of utilization of ICT in extension in agriculture. In plantation crops are also, there are various, platforms wherein ICT has been used very effectively, say to provide information, to facilitate decision making, capacity training, then facilitation in farming operations. There are various examples. See, again, going to the detail, eKalpa, just I will tell about the integrated mobile app. Probably you might have seen, it can be downloaded free from that Play Store. And again, eKalpa is the integration of services on fields or problems reporting and farmer support. It's an Android-based mobile application. Farmer diary, knowledge-based notifications, all those things are available. eKalpa, just an example. Social media as a platform for technology transfer in plantation crops. We know various groups, social media groups are the only problem is that now so many things appear in this WhatsApp university and all. The authenticity of the information shared or provided, that is the limitation. That's a constraint actually. Probably some regulatory mechanism is needed to regulate the information flow if you want to make use of this social media platform very effectively. And again, farmer participatory extension, we have implemented various programs. Meragav is a recent initiative. ICR has suggested to implement innovative initiative to promote the direct interface between scientists and farmers to hasten, to speed up the lab to land process. Actually, training, method demonstration, farmer advisory visit, use of mass media, and again facilitating various stakeholder linkages. All these things are clubbed together in this initiative. Our scientists are supposed to involved organizing this particular program in selected villages. We have been implementing this initiative. And again, Agribusiness Incubation Center is another extension, initiative to empower the prospective entrepreneurs through capacity building programs, to provide them the hand-holding support. And again, we are having, our institute is having, agricultural universities are having Agribusiness Incubation Center, is supported by the ICAR. KAU is having a very strong agribusiness incubation program. And our institutes offer more than around 15 entrepreneurs have successfully started enterprises with the incubation support provided by our center. More than 30 ED programs we have organized. You see, we have just seen some of the extension approaches for supporting the plantation sector. We have seen the challenges faced by the sector. We have seen various agencies involved in the generation of technologies and the transfer of technology. And we have seen various conventional and innovative extension approaches. Probably there are various challenges again. Any extension intervention in plantation sector to be effective, necessarily you need to consider to give focus on active participation of the farmers and associations. Participatory approaches is important. And again, taking into cognizance the problems due to the fragmented holdings in plantation sector, facilitating community action for various activities that should be given emphasis. And again, research, extension, farmer organizations, and other stakeholders. The linkages and coordination of functioning between all these agencies should be strengthened. So the extension initiative should be there definitely for strengthening the linkages and coordination between all these actors in plantation sector. I think I have conveyed some messages on this extension approaches in plantation sector. Now I would sincerely like to have some interaction with the participants. I do not know how many were there. I think some. How many are there, Dr. Nima?
Sir, 16, sir. Then we took.
Okay, it's okay.
Thank you, sir, for the very good presentation, sir. Now this forum is open for discussion. Students, actually, we won't get such an extension personal for regularly for interaction. So please interact with Tampan, sir, and clear your doubts.
I hope among the 16, some are inclined to extension. How many are interested to pursue your studies in extension? No one is interacting. This is the limitation of online interface.
Yes, sir.
I would not leave anybody.
Please, students, you can please interact with sir. And since this is an extension session,
whether I have conveyed something, I do not know. They are not to be seen. Virtual reality. Well, they have left or just like that.
They will be there only. Most of them will be having some net issues for opening their video and all.
Anyone?
Aljo, all this, these are students.
Our KE students. Aljo James is there. Nihal is there.
Sir, right now I am in the middle of some processing, sir. That is why
it's okay. Say, carry on. No problem. We will interact later.
Thank you, sir.
Someone is free, they can definitely ask, clarify. Not only clarify, you can make comments. You can say what nonsense you have told.
Then Aishwarya, Madhuri, these all are our regular members, sir.
Is it?
They used to
Madhuri
be there.
name is in a child photograph is there.
Madhuri.
It's Madhuri's childhood or?
No, sir. I was pursuing my third year BSc Honors Horticulture.
From? What is that?
Dr. S.R. Horticulture University, Andhra Pradesh, sir.
Okay. Thank you for participating in the session. Would you like to interact?
Actually, we have a little bit exposure to extension.
Yeah.
And I was not ready to take extension for the further studies, sir.
Okay. Why?
I was
You don't
thinking,
like extension?
sir?
You don't like extension?
Not like that, but I was having some another idea in my mind. I was thinking to do my MSc in post-harvest technology, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's fine. All the best. Anything to discuss?
No, sir. The class is clear.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Aishwarya. I'll call everybody by name. Aishwarya, you are there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can
Yes,
interact.
bro.
Answer.
Sir, is it? I mean, one of my extension teachers said that it was very difficult to find job
Is
if
it?
you go for pursuing extension. Is that
Extension.
true, actually?
No. There are various avenues for extension professionals. See, why not you try ARS? There is an important stream, and of course, ARS agri universities will definitely absorb large number of extension professionals, postgraduates and doctorate fellows. Why not? And there are various projects, international projects where people trained in extension topic. No, they will be preferred for many of the project, what to say, interventions. Don't worry, who told that there is no job opportunities for extension professionals? There are definitely.
No, teacher said that compared to other, no, she said that compared to other departments, it is very less. I mean,
our position.
if you go abroad, okay.
Okay.
And if we go abroad, is there, I mean, for extension workers, is there a chance or more or less?
Yeah, definitely there are many chances, especially there are various developmental initiatives being implemented by donor agencies, international agencies. In such international projects, definitely there is scope for extension professionals. Definitely there are various foundations are there who implement developmental projects in various countries. There are various donor agencies are there. They are implementing various projects. Extension professionals are also preferred. Definitely.
Yeah, I've seen so much opportunities in abroad compared to our country.
Naturally. Now the concept of extension probably much more broader there, compared to our, say, we deal with our topic maybe slightly less confined. It is broader.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, welcome.
Aishwarya, and adding to what Dr. Tampan had said, even if in any research institute, how much core work we do, the interaction with the public will be with the extension scientists, and actually they are the faces of the institute. You will be knowing the institute through them, and I don't think that you won't get any opportunities. That your opportunities will be less if you go for pursuing your higher up studies in extension. It is having its own importance.
Yeah.
Okay, Shweta.
Okay, ma'am, it's good to know that.
So next is, let me call Arati. Arati, you are there? Arati Madhu? Arati?
It's okay, Nima. We need not pressurize them. They will be having their own maybe classes.
They will be traveling and they will be standing somewhere.
It's okay. Let them listen to or what is it, that YouTube this thing afterwards. They can subscribe afterwards.
Because since this live streaming is there, they are taking it little like a flexible, sir, that they can even listen to that afterwards. Sir. So anybody is having any other doubts or any other clarification needed? Because sir was very busy and with personally he has accepted for this coming to session. So really thankful for you, sir, to be a research person.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Nima, for coordinating the program. Thank you all participants.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
I'll just